me. Come to me.
Greetings, my little lovelies. I hope I find you all well again, and as usual feeling tickety-boo. Now, 4 marvellous new videos for you today. The first one is all about an imaginary friend. Or is it? Now, the second one is all about a seance and how they caught a picture of a demon. Very scary. And the third one, on a more serious note, is all about a man who lost his wife and the despair he went through and how he eventually came out the other side, and that has been sent in to us. It's a very interesting story. And the fourth and final one is all about someone who was locked up in the 1950s. He was locked up for seeing things. Wow. What do you make of that? I think they'd have locked me up a long time ago. Anyway, enough of that. Let's crack on, shall we? My name is John. I live in Ohio in the USA, in a house that was built in 1931. As an infant, I always stared at a corner in the living room. When I got older, maybe about 3 or 4 years old, I told my mum I had made a new friend. His name was Jay. She just laughed it off as some sort of imaginary friend. I would often talk to Jay. One day I started whispering at the attic. My mother asked what I was doing, and I told her Jay lives there. Later that night, my younger sister heard whispering in her room and saw a shadow in the corner. She told my mum in the morning about it, and upon further research, the man who built the house murdered his wife and only child for apparently no reason. The son's name was Jay. I still live here in this house, and now my son has started talking to the attic. The following demonic entity was photographed during a seance in 1933. Medium Elizabeth Stalwart had been reported missing a week after the events of that night, and was eventually found in the woods nearby her home. Massive blood loss was the cause of death due to several deep lacerations across her body, and both eyes had been torn out. Others who had attended the seance are said to have suffered from mental breakdowns, hallucinations, and 2 had even committed suicide. The house where this happened was called Wretchford House and was known as a cursed home. Murder, madness, and even black magic was connected to this haunted place, where many years ago a seance destroyed lives of 6 curious people and their psychic hostess. My wife died very suddenly from a heart attack, only 6 years ago. She was only 52 years old. Up to that point, had no health issues whatsoever. I have to say this is something I was not expecting at all. It left me empty, and I had very dark thoughts of ending my life to be with her. One night, whilst getting very drunk at home, I started searching online for some kind of help, but nothing helped me. I found it all completely empty. I fell asleep on my sofa, completely drunk. While I slept, I had what I can only describe as a very vivid dream, almost as if I was awake. In my dream, I was surrounded by what can only be described as pure love, which made me feel so at peace. I cannot say for sure if this was real, but I do believe it was. Also, I cannot say for sure what I heard was real, but I did hear a voice saying, "Do not worry, you will be fine, my love." It was my wife's voice. I am sure of that. I slowly started to wake up, unsure if what had happened was real or not. I went back to visit my wife's grave. Instead of feeling bad and angry and having very dark thoughts, I felt a calmness come over me, and the voice from my dream came back into my head saying, "Do not worry, you will be fine, my love." Now, to cut a long story short, Julian, 3 months later, I bumped into an old girlfriend from my college days. We had a coffee and we talked. She was also a widow. Her husband passed due to cancer. Now again, I'm going to cut a very long story short, because I know time is precious. We ended up getting married, and now live in Somerset, England. I am so glad I did not do anything silly now. I have taken my new wife to visit my old wife's grave, and we both feel at peace. Thank you, Julian. I hope you can use my story. All the best. What do we think of that, folks? A very personal story, a very honest story. From reading what he's written down and sent to me, it's quite touching. Anyway, as usual, we shall leave it to you. The following picture was taken in Ontario in Canada. Now, the man in this photograph has been institutionalized in the 1950s for being delusional. He said he could see spirits, animals, Indians, Vikings, and a lot more. The picture was taken when his sisters visited him. If you look to the far left of the picture, my little lovelies, is there something you can see? Was he being delusional like they claimed? Or was he really able to see things that were there that others could not see? Interesting picture. As usual, my little lovelies, let us know. Aha! The aliens sent me back. They couldn't cope with me, my little lovelies. Right. Welcome back to all. Hope you enjoyed them. As usual, let us know your thoughts. Keep everything nice and clean and tickety-boo, or the aliens will be coming for you. Oh dear, somebody stop me. Right. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have fun. Get involved with us. Got any stories? Send them in the links below. You never know. You might feature in a story. Oh, how marvelous would that be? Right. I think that's quite enough nonsense from me for this episode. So, until the next time, my little lovelies, take care and look after yourselves. Ta-ta, my little lovelies. Ta-ta!